As great as Thanos was on the big screen, there are still a couple of things that he cannot do like his comic book self that I thought could have been possibly interesting in the movies if they were to choose to add it. One thing that the movies captured was his raw brute strength. They got that down pat, but one thing they didn't get down pat was his sheer versatility, being a telepath, telekinetic, and being able to energy manipulate and shoot energy blasts and things like that. That's what really makes him a threat, even without the Infinity Gauntlet. In this particular issue, Thanos shows that he is yet again another team buster, being able to fight the team of Blue Marvel, Spectrum, Captain Marvel, Black Panther. I thought this would also be cool because Captain Marvel is recently blasting her way onto the big screen as well with her movie releasing and her appearance in Avengers Endgame. This is an impressive showing for the simple fact Thanos is able to fight these beings by himself without any Infinity Gauntlet or any power-ups. Please note that Blue Marvel is a being that's comparable to Sentry, and Sentry is confirmed by the writer himself to have the power of literally 1 million exploding suns. Spectrum roughly scales to them because she can turn into pure light and even become intangible, so she's no joke herself. Then you have the fact that Captain Marvel is probably star level. Then you have Black Panther that has weapons that ignore durability, aka vibranium. One of the best abilities Captain Marvel has is her ability to get stronger via energy absorption. She can absorb pretty much any type of energy to enhance herself. So in short, Spectrum could actually amp her up to unknown means if she wanted to help her fight their battles together. And in all honesty, this is probably the reason why Thanos doesn't really shoot energy beams at Captain Marvel. Now that I think about all their fights, he usually just punches her because he probably already knows about her ability to absorb energy, which pretty much allows her to become her binary form, aka her Super Saiyan form, if those that watch Dragon Ball Z don't know what I'm talking about. If I'm not mistaken, this was after the events of Civil War, aka Thanos actually beating the crap out of War Machine to the point he actually killed him and even put She-Hulk in a coma. That's why Captain Marvel in this particular comic is so furious at Thanos and wants to murder him herself. Also remember how overpowered Blue Marvel is. Like I said earlier, he was able to fight Sentry one-on-one, aka a being with the power of 1 million exploding suns. Also remember that Blue Marvel also KO'd Ultimate Hulk, aka a Hulk that's roughly scales to the normal Savage Hulk, moderately angered. I wouldn't necessarily scale him equivalent to the, natural Savage Hulk of, the main universe known as 616, but he roughly scales nonetheless, and that's still an impressive feat, despite him being in the 616. Please note that Spectrum is one of those beings that can literally go intangible because she can actually turn into light, but somehow Thanos is able to hit her physically, even with his energy blast, meaning that he might be hitting her with the same type of energy or energy that counters her energy she can turn into, which is pretty impressive to Haxie and intangible beings, as it seems. I even have a battle with Zeus on my page where Spectrum actually was able to go intangible to the point where Zeus's attacks would even pass through him. So, and he's like a prime level Skyfather, a being much higher than Thanos is, comparable to Odin to the point, but Thanos is still able to hit Spectrum, which is impressive. It could be oversight on the writer's part. The writer probably could have possibly not known that Spectrum can go intangible. It could be that, or it could be he's just able to counter her hacks with his ability. As many powerhouses that are present, even they realize that they can't beat him in an actual straight up real fight, in a slugfest, blast fight, or attack power fight, or just overpowering him overall. They're going to have to come up with prep time and keep him distracted so that prep time can actually work against the Mad Titan Thanos, and that's what they exactly do. They haymaker him until they're ready for their plan to be executed properly, while Thanos stomps him into the ground in the meantime. Thanos is actually one of the smartest creatures because not only is he a powerful being with the Infinity Gauntlet and has full control and understanding of the Infinity Gauntlet when he did have it, but he also uses other means of getting himself stronger, such as training, maximizing his power with his actual fighting skills, learning mystical things of nature, enhancing himself with scientific and bionical methods and surgery and things like that. That's what makes him such a threat, because he's constantly improving himself over time. So it's just scary what he can do in 100 years from now, 200 years from now. He's constantly getting permanent amps. Most people get temporary amplifications to their bodies for specific stories. Thanos in general, most of the time, usually gets amps that are permanent. If it's not like the Cosmic Cube amp, that's temporary. If it's not like the Infinity Gauntlet amp, that's temporary. All those things are not his power, but he does have a lot of amplifications of things, from the past that keeps him getting stronger over time. With all of them combining their brains and minds together, all these scientific people work together to find a way to neutralize him and capture him with prep time. One thing I do like about Marvel Comics is that after all these years of them facing powerhouses and things like that, they are getting better and better and with prep time, and when it comes to super strong threats. And it's smart and realistic throughout all the events they've went through. I can see if this was their first time fighting this level opponent, but you would think after all these years and decades without no reboots, they would find a way to come up with different ways to take out these people with little to less prep time after all these times. And Nowadays, they use less and less prep compared to the old days where they have to use, months and months of prep. But now they're getting technology to the point where they're prepared for these type of threats, which is realistic due to how many comics that has been released without any reboots at this time in Marvel history. So that's one thing I do like, the progression, and it's showing that they have improved over the years. All the fights, fighting heroes that's gone rogue, Thanos in the past, Galactus, it only makes sense. I know I keep coming back to this, but I love the MCU, and Endgame is fresh on my mind. Have you guys ever wondered, do you think we'll see Blue Marvel? This would be the perfect time to bring in Blue Marvel, my personal opinion, with the absence of the original trilogy, aka spoilers Endgame. I think that'll be the perfect time. What do you think? Put your comments down below and let me know what you all think.